Coming up on Be Kind, Let's Rewind.
Today, as you can see, we are covering 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie.
With the suits, though, so there were different versions of them.
Even the actors themselves that were just doing the mannerisms, like you were sitting there trying to get it right as the animatronics were working the mouths. One of the Foot Clan members with the most racist accent I've ever heard in my life.
Your mouth may yet bring you much trouble, Miss O'Neill.
To break it up, the comic relief, because it gets pretty deep, is Mikey on the phone. Like,
I want a large, thick crust with double cheese, ham, pepperoni.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles or something?
Yeah, because Ninja had a negative connotation.
Yeah, it's the other N word.
Ugh. Where did they come up with this stuff?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Because I wanted to redecorate. You know, a couple throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think?
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast that no one asked for. Today, as you can see, we are covering 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. And
thank Christ! I thought you had a head injury.
Yeah, I gotta take that damn thing off.
Michelangelo.
How do you even see in that thing, Mikey? Guys, this was 1990.
Which one's the ugly one?
Peak of the turtle wave,
dude?
Where do you guys remember seeing it? Leaf, I know where you saw it because we saw it together in theaters.
We sure did. Our moms took us. The house wine moms we grew up with in the late 80s, early 90s took us to watch, to shut us up for 10 seconds and keep us from killing ourselves in the yard.
Did they look like Mel Gibson with a cigarette?
Yep, exactly.
Dude,
Shadwick,
how'd you like the movie, boys?
they're like, we'll be waiting out in the lobby, kids.
We see a couple of dads waiting over here by the cigs. Now,
cigarette machine.
Yeah. No, we actually I saw it at the theater close to where you live, Chris.
Okay.
It's Battlefield now, but it was
man.
It was called Southgate back then.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
And very familiar.
And I remember the whole theater staff, like before they started with the previews, they all walked down and they all looked fucking miserable because they had like pillows belted to their back.
Oh God!
And the mask like you just had on. And they were not enjoying it.
Were they forced to do that? Like,
oh, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, I mean, I had to dress up like Mushu from Mulan once.
Yeah, you could see it in their. You could see it in their domino masked eyes.
You could see it in their dead eyes.
Yeah,
Lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eye.
God,
dude.
One of them was like,
I have a goddamn veterinary exam.
Man, this one is still one of my all-time favorite films. I catch a lot of slander from younger people on it where they're like, I don't understand why you like that movie. Because you're an idiot. That's why.
Because younger people aren't used to content.
I remember being I was like, oh shit, it's a Ninja Turtle movie. I was stoked. But when I found out it was live action, I remember kind of being like, no, this is because my only show to movie that I was aware of before this, to my knowledge, was Transformers.
Yes.
We all know how they fucked that one up for me in my entire childhood.
Well, so the other big one that was a cartoon to live action that caused issue with this movie getting made was Masters of the Universe.
That one was
the Dolph Lundgren special,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, dude. I think that was in like 87, maybe.
Yeah.
And it was such a turd. That was the stigma that any kind of comic book or cartoon to live action movie was going to
And
get.
that compounded with, I also was reading, Howard the Duck really soured a lot of people on this movie because it's a comic movie, right? And so this is technically a comic book movie, and people were like, I guess Batman 89 had happened, so that kind of broke through. But before that, a lot of them were disasters, especially ones kind of aimed towards kids. So they're like, that nobody wanted to touch it except for New Line Cinema.
So
God rest
are
your
you
soul.
saying that possibly Michael Uslan and Tim Burton made this movie possible?
I'll be damned.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I feel like they did make it possible. However, I think that if a lot of people were squeamish, they thought maybe that Batman 1989 was maybe a one-off.
Well, and Superman, I think, was around that time too. So they're starting to be
No, Superman was 78 or 79.
Oh, I'm talking about the Christopher Reeves one.
Yeah, but there was Superman 2 and 3. No, well, Superman 1, but like Superman 2 and 3 were in like the mid or late 80s, right?
Yeah. But I mean, by this time, you'd already hit Superman 4, and everybody was like, "Oh, Jesus,
no more of that."
This.
They were kind of,
I mean, Superman 4 made me want to take us over to
Get out of the street.
Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
So, guys, I'm going to get a little sentimental here because my drink this week goes out to my late master, Hamato Yoshi, and I am drinking Sapporo beer in his honor.
Shout out to my friend Suji, who lived literally not, very far from Sapporo in Hokkaido. In northern Japan, and she's been to the brewery there, and evidently
I just spilled. When I opened it, it just foamed up and spilled everywhere on my desk right now. But
that's what the Japanese do.
We'll give you go on. You better clean that shit up, or you're going to have to commit seppuku.
Hey, no, wait a minute.
That's how Master Hamato Yoshi would have wanted it to be, guys. So, Chadwick, what do you got, man?
I'm color coding with Michelangelo tonight.
Oh, nice!
Yep,
the old fashioned cocktail, cocktail guy.
Man, I didn't know you could get old fashions and decent cocktails. Bullet's good,
dude. Bullet's good
stuff, man.
Yeah, dude. By the time this is over, you'll see how good it is.
And we'll be canceled. I'm drinking the old classic rum and Coke. I'm trying to stay away from gluten a little bit.
Oh, you see that? His dick's flying off.
You know what I mean? I'm getting to that age where it's like I've started eliminating certain things. But don't worry, for Be Kind, Let's Rewind, I will destroy my stomach and gut biome with beer on occasion, nonetheless. Nice. But we got a little rum and Coke, a little bit of
the older you get, the more things you cut out of your life, like joy.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
And fun.
I made a funny.
Ninja Turtles 1990. Leaf, lead us into some boring ass facts and let's jump into it.
Most of y'all, if fans of the podcast, already know this one. This one's a classic. Hope you're as excited as we are. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is, of course, a 1990 American superhero film based on the comic book characters created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. It is the first film adaptation of the characters and was directed by Stephen Barron and written by Todd W. Langan and Bobby Herbeck.
If I may correct you, I think it's Peter Laird, but I may be wrong on that.
Is it Laird?
I believe it's Laird.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds more correct.
And maybe you guys out there can correct me, but I don't know that it was ever stated or shown in the movie, but I think where the foot was hanging out, their hideout or whatever, was supposed to be on Laird Island, maybe?
We'll look into it. Yeah,
that might be internet lore.
Right. Mm-hmm. So The theatrical release in the United States was on March the 30th, 1990 by New Line Cinema. It received mixed reviews from the drooling, shit-eating critics, but however, it was a box office smash. Go figure. The critics in 1990 didn't know shit either. Congratulations.
I see a trend.
I see a trend as well, my good man. The film grossed $202 million on a budget of only $13.5 million.
And all that was what, self-raised or self-financed, I guess?
It was. Right? As you guys said, both of y'all mentioned that the film, most major studios generally wouldn't touch it. This was an independent film, and it was the highest grossing independent film of that time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so no
power, baby.
And maybe that's why it was good, because there was no studio involvement. New Line Cinemas was just the distribution of it.
Right.
Yes. They had nothing to do with production.
Correct.
So if you're looking to watch this movie, you guys can watch it. I found it. It's on Showtime, which you can get through Paramount, is how I watched it. And before we jump into the meat and bones of this, guys, be sure to like, subscribe. If you're listening on audio and you're digging what we're doing, hit us with 5 stars and tell your friends about us. But all right, man. So let's jump into this, the voices and the suits.
And hey, I just want to say, if you are listening on an audio platform, check us out on YouTube, because Chris does a phenomenal job on throwing in clips, and you can hear them, but you're not getting the full effect if you're not seeing those videos pop up.
It's funny.
Check us out on YouTube.
Do it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Ladies
all right, man.
And
so this is what's funny about this, right? And this goes back.
This is funny.
This goes back to what we were talking about when we did our James Earl Jones tribute.
It does. It absolutely
and how
does.
Times have changed, Leaf. So go ahead.
Times have changed. So you have, obviously, for those of you who are the initiated, you've seen the 1990 original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There are the voices of the characters, and then there are the guys like in the suits. And I don't know. I honestly, before this podcast and research, couldn't delineate between the two, right? They sort of just kind of blended together in your imagination, but they're actually, for the majority, like two separate set of actors, and the amount of voiceovers that went into this was insane. And as we talked about on our podcast, on our tribute to James Earl Jones, he, at that time, early in the 70s, way before this movie was created, voiceover was in certain respects considered special effects, right? Not something to really be lauded or to even give you credit. Like in the film, there were a lot of voiceovers that sort of went performed and unknown by a lot of actors. And so times have,
I'm going to say there's probably someone listening to you right now that's screaming at their monitor that there's actually 3 performers for every turtle, because the puppeteers work in the face. That's a fucking talented group right there.
You're actually right. I don't have those names, so I've actually failed.
It's hard to find those names. I've tried to look. A lot of those are going to be under Jim Henson Productions or whatever is what those will fall under.
Who actually made a lot of the animatronics in the suit. So Shadwick's actually corrected me. That's true. There sometimes are a different set of group of people, not always, as we're about to find out, but we're going to separate the voices from the suits here on Be Kind, Let's Rewind, and go over each one so we can give accreditation to, which is unusual because usually we just throw a couple of names out and then we go, but this film is really unique and I think it honestly deserves it. So when we talk about the voices or the voiceovers, we've got Leonardo. The voiceover artist is Brian Tochi. Donatello, of course, is the incomparable Corey Feldman.
You're a claustrophobic.
You want a piss in the mouth? Never even looked at another guy.
The memes have already started, ladies and gentlemen. Michelangelo played voiceover by Robbie Rist. Raphael, an unusual one here. Josh Pace.
It's the only one.
I'm sorry. Back to Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Do not get him mixed up with the adult film star Robbie Fist.
I see that. No one will make that mistake.
The typo away, guys.
Chadwick.
Those R and Fs are right next to each other on the keyboard.
You're always one click away from Big Black Cock.
Raphael voiced over by Josh Pace. He also plays the actual guy in the suit, the only guy.
He came up with the idea for the Brooklyn accent.
I was born in Brooklyn, okay? My accent's the fucking Brooklyn accent, okay?
You see a fucking turban.
Speaking of that, he also plays the guy in the cab where Raphael runs over and rolls over the cab.
The driver or the passenger?
The passenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how you can tell? It's because the driver's fat as fuck, and he sure as hell ain't doing roundhouse kicks.
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
That's how I knew, because I originally thought it was a driver, and I looked at the kid in the back seat, and I go, "Oh no, that's him."
and I gotta say, he gave him that Brooklyn accent, but watching it now, I feel like Raphael kind of has like an Ice Cube vibe to him.
Yeah, a little bit. I lost a sigh.
Yeah, he kind of does, dude. He's a little gangster, dude. This was even before.
Damn.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is before the East Coast.
I'm black,
and sometimes I get angry. So suck a dick.
Moving on to Splinter. Splinter was voiced over by Kevin Clash, who was also the puppeteer for Splinter. Yeah, so like this one kind of melds in with what Chadwick was saying.
Not to be confused with Kevin Nash, who is the Super Shredder in
number 2. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Tatsu was actually controversial.
Yeah. That's crazy, right? Like, I didn't know that. Like, going back and watching, they did a pretty damn good job with this dub over.
Dude, I don't even remember any line he has. He just literally grunts and yells. He just
whoa.
He was
Tatsu was dubbed.
Yeah, Tatsu was dubbed.
It was dubbed, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
what I said too. I was like, "What?
Why?
Gone."
he couldn't say ninja vanish.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Evidently not, dude.
It's crazy because I did not. Usually, you pick those up pretty easy. I never knew that until like probably 3 days ago.
Tatsu's voiceover was voiced over by a gentleman named Michael McConaughey, and he did the grunts, thrusts, and screeches from the character Tatsu. Shredder was voiced over by another potential Irishman, David McCarran or McCarran. So evidently, you have to be Irish to voice over Asians. And I'm sure that would not fly at all today. So it makes it even funnier for
nasty.
us. It makes it hilarious.
This just in the next X-Men movie, they cast a ginger as Jubilee.
Wouldn't work. So moving on to the suits. So who was in the suits? This is something that, like, I'm more familiar with the voiceover artists, obviously being in the profession and the trade, but I wasn't familiar with who was in the actual suits doing the actual acting, and I feel like these people sort of go unnoticed. But here's something strange: they generally also play double roles in the film, as we're about to learn. Leonardo played in the suit by David Foreman, who also plays a random gang member in of the Foot Clan. Donatello was played by my namesake, Leaf Tilden, who also plays the foot soldier who slaps April across the mouth.
Your mouth may yet bring you much trouble, Miss O'Neill.
Yeah.
Michelangelo is played in the suit by McKeelan.
The pizza delivery guy. Yeah.
Yes, who is the pizza delivery guy in the film who delivers the pizza.
81 and an eighth. Oh, come on! I couldn't find the place.
And he gets stiffed.
What we learned is forgiveness is divine. To never pay full price for a late pizza.
Ever. Raphael, of course.
Last night.
Mm-hmm.
Raphael, of course, is Josh Pace, as we spoke about earlier. Tatsu, the actual actor, is played by Toshihiro Obata. So he was evidently.
He probably couldn't have done the dialogue because everything he said sounded too angry.
Probably.
I mean,
That guy.
but
I
so
thought-
was Tatsu, yeah.
I thought Ernie Reyes Jr. was.
He did, and it's not credited in the IMDb page. It's credited on his IMDb page, which is weird. So he was in Ninja Turtles 1 in one of those suits. I don't believe it was Donatello.
I think it was too.
So he wasn't the main one that was in Donatello's suit, but apparently, from what I read too, these again independent film. These suits were hot as fuck.
And
so
70 pounds, dude.
And so these dudes were like almost passing out in these suits, like they're trying to pump water and fluids in them in between takes. And it apparently was like a fucking nightmare to work in. So they had, I assume, like a couple different. They probably had backups and whatnot, and that's where Ernie Reyes Jr. Came in, who played Keanu in the second one, right?
Yep.
So
he was in a whole slew of things in the 80s. Like there was a show called Sidekicks,
Surf Ninjas,
Ninjas, man. And
one of my favorites that we've yet to cover, The Last Dragon.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes. Soon, Chadwick. Soon you shall have your day in the sun. Ernie Reyes Jr. definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't have any proof for this. There's no doubt that he was an extremely young but accomplished martial artist during this time.
Yeah.
And on the come up for, in this genre. And like, there's no doubt in my mind that in those scenes, like he was doing the martial arts work.
And not to dive too much forward, but I was reading this book on Mortal Kombat, and Ninja Turtles 2, Ho Sung Pak, who plays Liu Kang, was actually in one of the turtle suits in number 2, and a couple of the other Mortal Kombat guys played foot soldiers and shit, and it's a small fucking world.
They started after this independent film. You could see they started hiring actual martial artists to do legitimate things, right? So,
dude, I thought the martial arts was good in this.
Oh, it is.
Honestly,
I mean,
so with the suits though, so there were different versions of them. There were ones for like dialogue. Scene, like our favorite scenes where they're like joking around in the department, watching TV. Oh, you're letting him run right by you. Like all those were like more detailed because there were like close-ups,
right?
Yes.
And but when they were like fighting with Shredder, there were a lot of like zoomed out shots, so you weren't seeing, you're less likely to see that they had changed suits and they were a lot lighter and more pliable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, these dudes, they were doing flips, kicks,
Dude, I mean,
amazing things.
Spinning nunchucks on one finger.
Dude, like fucking bolos, Indian burns.
Keep practicing.
They were doing so many. Yeah, they were doing wild things, and we'll talk about that more.
They were ninja kicking the damn rabbit.
We'll talk about that more as we moving on, because you're absolutely right. The amount of physicality that it took to perform these suits, and as Chris said, it was so hot that even the actors themselves that were just doing the mannerisms, like you were sitting there trying to get it right as the animatronics were working the mouths. I believe Shabak linked some of the footage of that, of how that works
behind the scene. We just throw up on the social media pages.
I was listening to something else today, and they were saying that there was some type of like a very elementary, but almost like what's it called, stop or motion capture, where there was a helmet that the puppeteers would wear, and they would use their own like facial movements, whatever. I'm not sure that's true, because the video I saw, it was all like
they were like had a remote control.
Their hands.
Remote control.
Right and left hand remotes. Every finger did something different.
And the lip movement and the eye movement, like it's Jim Henson will live in my nightmares with that kind of shit like that. This was awesome. Dark Crystal, get fucked. Like that thing still haunts my nightmares.
That shit was so creepy. We'll do that one another time when we're all on mushrooms or something like that. That shit was off the wall, dude. The last person obviously in a suit was of course Shredder in his mask, played by James Saito, and that rounds out the general cast of characters. We're going to talk about more about the suits going forward, but man,
so we jump in here, and it's going to start off with our nice little. I love this opening with the crime wave. It sets everything up.
Yep.
Really fucking quick for you. It gives you lets you know the lay of the land with Miss April O'Neil, man, she's still doing cons and stuff. I know. Shout out John T. He got to meet her at a convention. Said like she was like super duper freaking nice.
I bet she was.
Was she wearing her bra?
She was like, sponsor our podcast. I mean, look, she's not going to answer us. I mean, we might as well go in. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, Leaf, did you reach out to her too? Chris and I both did.
Yeah,
I
swing and a
didn't.
miss. It's all right.
I'm gonna shoot my shot later on after this episode, and then we'll get her for we'll get her. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. We got this. We got this.
But so she's doing the report on the surging crime.
Yeah, opening scene. It's just it's April O'Neil on TV, radio, just sort of setting up like she's on TV, but it's more of a voiceover to explaining what's happening in the city of New York.
Yeah, it's a voiceover montage basically, showing all these like pickpockets and people like stealing shit off of people's balconies and fire escapes. And
we could have probably summed it up with be like, it starts with modern day New York City.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because nothing's changed.
It's exactly the same. The Ninja Turtles are needed now more than ever.
More than ever.
That's cool.
But I did notice that they have the
and only things living in tunnels in New York are Jews.
You're leaving that in.
I'm leaving that in. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen there's a video
straight out of the news.
True. Yeah, that is so. Leaf, in your notes here, you have some redheaded little shit steals someone's wallet, hands it off. Then he hands it off to old Danny, right? What I did notice is this Tatsu or is this Shredder that gets it from Danny? Because I paused it, and it almost looks like Shredder's hand grabbing it, but Shredder is
I thought it was just a foot soldier.
It may be a foot soldier's. Do they have armor on their hand?
Here's the thing.
Maybe that's what it was.
It was supposed to be a foot soldier, but I agree with Chris. I don't remember any of the foot soldiers having like a bracer on their arm. So it almost did look as if it was like somebody.
Because I was like, what? Who called in sick? How many layers had to call in sick that Shredder had to do pickpocket duty? Where he's like, God damn it, I got to get out there.
He's driving a cab. He had pickpocket shift, dude. Everybody. The same
no one's above it. Okay, it's a foundation of this business, and he has to get out there and do it.
Next, I'm moving to fries.
That's where the big bucks are going to roll in, man. Jeez. But I saw that and I thought it was also another thing that I found that was kind of funny is when they're stealing the boxes out of the back of that truck.
Yes,
if you watch. Over in the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the truck shaking where they're actually, because it's one shot. I tried to look to see if there was a cut. It's one shot. You can see the truck shaking, them pulling those boxes out real quick or whatever. It was cutting back.
Really cool scene. Yeah. So for the uninitiated, this is the montage of the Foot Clan committing crimes. And as Chris said, there's a guy delivering packages and he brings this package out of a full truck of packages and he's giving it to the person. They're signing for it like the post office or UPS, and he goes back to the truck and it's empty. And it's like, is this special effects? Is there a cut? It looks like one scene to me, dude.
They're probably empty boxes, and it's probably just one front row of empty boxes that they just had to get out real quick. But it's you can definitely see it like moving up and down because they're doing work.
And that delivery guy, it always makes me giggle when he turns around and he does that, huh?
Yeah. He's like, where's my packages? Oh, it's the cops.
Oh, it's the cops.
I can't believe it, dude.
Oh, no, it's the cops.
Dude, it's so awesome, man. Like, so you're already set up with immediately and like with the scene, the Foot Clan. And it looks like they've employed clearly these street thugs. They're not all ninjas, and that's important for the film, for this particular film. They've employed teenage kids to sort of commit, their crimes as an initiation to be admitted into the actual Foot Clan as a soldier.
Look, some of the stuff he's been saying makes a lot of sense.
Dude, all I know is this hangout that these kids are in is sign me the fuck up. Sign me up in my 40s, dude. You got all the menthols or lights that you need on the cigarettes if you want to smoke.
Yeah.
They actually had I don't know if you guys picked this up, but Narc, the arcade game, is one of the ones that's in there, which is from Midway, who guess what made It was Williams Midway who ended up merging. But anyway, they're the ones that made Mortal Kombat and all that shit. So
yes,
kind of funny.
Are they the ones that made the Turtles game also?
No, I don't think so. I think that was Activision, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think so.
The one that was like the Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The arcade beat them up. Yeah,
Cowabunga!
I don't think that was Midway. But the Foot, yeah, dude. So yeah, the Foot Clan. It shows so the kids are robbing and stealing, and it immediately pans over to their secret lair, and it just looks amazing.
Dude, fucking skateboard ramps everywhere.
The kids are looting,
boozing,
cigars. There's boozing. They're playing video games. There's an indoor skate park. They're having the best times of their entire life.
Dude, they're perving on some dish.
Actually, so I found something kind of interesting. This place was not in New York. It was in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Really?
It was an abandoned concrete factory, I believe, and it was in several movies. But I know one of the other ones was The Crow.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Good find. Well done.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So yeah, most of the movie was actually shot in North Carolina. Obviously, all the cityscapes. Any kind of establishing shots from the city or in New York.
It's the same shit as RoboCop. They're like, we're not really going to film in Detroit. It's too dangerous. They're like, we're not going to film in New York City. It's too dangerous. We'll go to We'll go to North Kakalaki instead.
Yeah,
so,
and pretend. Yeah. So the guy,
we'll go south of the belt. The Bible Belt.
Also, on a side note, for those uninitiated too, the head thug is a young Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Like, and is he credited?
He is on IMDb. So I'm not. Yeah, as far as I can.
And
tell,
also the kid that he says where he's like, got any cigarettes? Is basically Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
You got any cigarettes? Regular or menthol?
All right, Hamilton.
Yes, exactly. So, like, that place looks amazing. I'm gonna tell you, as a kid watching this,
John Peters wanted to play Superman, and Kevin Smith's Superman Lives.
Yeah. As a kid, I was super impressed with the Foot Clan's hideout. Man, it was amazing.
Dude,
you get to steal. You get to play video games all day, smoke cigarettes,
fast food.
They're having a blast.
Do you think that's what the hangout was like in the Lost Boys before the hotel got swallowed by the earthquake?
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
That would be so amazing, man. So amazing. So we move quickly from there. We see the Foot Clan doing their thing. They've established their foothold, no pun intended, in New York City, doing what it is. Yeah, what they do. And but they fuck up, man. They mess up. April O'Neil has been reporting on a lot of their ill-gotten gains and their criminality, and so she decides to walk home after her report.
You know what I noticed this last walkthrough, or this last watch through?
Yeah,
she's wearing a yellow coat to give the fucking nod to the cartoon. Yeah, and that's the only time in this movie that it's like.
I noticed that too,
and I was like, "Oh shit!" I didn't notice that as a kid because I was just like, man, she's kind of hot. I mean, I'm like starting to become a little.
I bet that tastes good.
April's
fucking technology.
It was the same time Chris had been reading Spider-Man comics, and he's like, oh, I've got a Peter tingle.
Yeah. I'm like, Mom, I've got web in my pants.
April's walking
I am Aquaman.
After her report, and of course she is attacked by the Foot Clan members randomly. Not sure if this scene is supposed to allude to them harming her for her reports on the Foot Clan, or if it's just a random mugging. But
I think she just walked up on them while they were stealing shit out of a news truck.
That's what it was.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Bad timing.
Bad timing. They decide to mug her, and of course that is a huge mistake because before they can harm her, the lights mysteriously go out.
still, even to this day, like watching that and hearing,
the ninjas come out of nowhere, but not bad ninjas.
Sai kills a light.
I got a question. Was there a trailer for this movie that showed the turtles, or did we have to wait until
the first teaser at least trailer poster was them with the sewer open where you could see their eyes or whatever, right? But yes, there was a trailer that did show them.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember because
and it probably was released later, closer to release date or whatever. They did it in phases, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I thought, with it being a live action adaptation from a cartoon, maybe they would have held that back, and like you've got to go to the movies and see it.
Yeah. No,
and then your first fight scene is all dark too.
Yeah,
goes along with the whole mythos of
because
ninjas.
We'll stay on track with the movie here, but to be honest, this movie is basically like a mesh of the comic book and cartoon. So the comic book is super fucking dark. If you guys have gone back and read it, or at least super dark for that time. I mean, I think Shredder dies in the first fucking issue or something, right? Like, there's people dying in this. Yeah,
I know that, but
yeah. So it's a dark, but then they adapted it to this cheesy cartoon kind of Saturday morning feel
for kids.
And this somehow lands in the middle, which as a kid I wondered why it was so dark or darker. Loved it, but now looking back, I'm like, it's a perfect mesh and blend, and still holds up.
Well,
but anyway,
they throw in little tidbits for the parents too.
All the good movies do that. Like this one, which is Leaf said lives on me and Leaf's minds in infamy for the rest of our lives. When April grabs Raphael's Sai, and then he's like, "Damn!" And I was like 10 years old. And it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. I was like,
bro.
And my mom looks over. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ! If he doesn't stop.
So the turtles end up.
She's putting a cigarette out in her palm. Like,
damn it, Christ, this fucking bastard!
Fucking Hollywood.
The turtles do knock out the lights, and with Raphael's Saz, they beat up the bad guys. April has no clue what happened. She's just dazed and confused. And the turtles,
all right.
It's still hot, and escapes. And the turtles escape into the sewer. Unfortunately, Raphael's Sai gets left behind. He's not able to snatch it without being seen. And April O'Neil snatches it up, and the movie is officially underway. We get our first intro with the turtles.
Did anybody know what a Sai was before Ninja Turtles?
No, of course not.
Okay. People don't know what a Sai is now. As far as that's concerned, they knew. So the thing about the Ninja Turtles weapons is there's supposed to be a lore behind them that goes pretty deep, right? But the idea that people understood what those weapons were or were used for is just ludicrous. They were considered by most people of that time to be ninja weapons, right? Like what you would consider like throwing stars. You remember American Ninja in the 80s? Like, dude, that kind of stuff was, the martial arts was terrible. Like, our knowledge of Asian society and culture was mythological, and we literally made film and movies about that. And this is sort of an offshoot of that, even though right now in this particular time period, we're kind of starting to recognize actual martial arts and actual history of that era. But there's
the rest of the world had a different interpretation of actual ninjas, because I believe it was in Europe. They wouldn't even call this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they called it like Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles or something.
Yeah, because ninja had a negative connotation.
Yeah. It's the other N word.
Yeah.
But it was, though. Like, ninjas were assassins, so it was a bad kind of term. They weren't good guys. Ninjas were not generally good people, and then Ninja Turtles were obviously the heroes. So I see there's a difference. There's a difference.
This is where you first get the look, like Shadow was talking about. You first get your look at the turtles.
Yes.
And man, do they look fucking awesome. Is it such a
amazing.
perfect adaptation of what you wanted it to be?
They're partying, they're laughing, they're high-fiving.
All four of their personalities come through immediately. Like
they're not 6'5", 400 pounds.
They're not Teenage Mutant HGH Turtles.
Yeah,
no,
Michael Bay.
Yeah,
no,
they're not
explosions.
I got something to say.
They're not. They're not. You know, when they get thrown into a car, the car doesn't like crumple and flip over.
Exactly.
More explosions. Michael Bay.
Dude, this is everything you want, like as a young like comic book reader or as a cartoon watcher and as a kid. Like, it's just so energetic. Like they saved April O'Neil. Everybody's cheering, they're high-fiving, they're saying catchphrases that generally make absolutely
like I said, you
no
get
sense.
all four personalities out of the gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Leo's excited. You know, awesome.
Yeah.
And Michelangelo with his kind of like surfer vibe or whatever.
Yeah. And
Donnie fucks it up with a
Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova?
Yeah, he's this freaking nerd.
Chevy Nova?
Can't get anything right, dude.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's so good, man. So then you meet Splinter now.
Yeah,
you know.
The turtles are returning to their lair in the sewer, and they finally get back to where they are. Everyone's celebrating except for Raphael, of course, who's pissed about losing his sai. Like, he's missing his two. He's missing one. I understand that. Like, that would piss me off too. Like, he's so mad. Splinter, you meet Splinter for the first time, the animatronic wise old
so
rat.
good too. Just great. Jim Henson. That group just kills this.
They murder it. Movie. It shows the practical effects that are far superior to CGI any day of the week, because the personality, the vibe, everything is immediately different when they run into Splinter. The music changes. Everything is instantly turned from party to reverence. The vibe is brought down instantly. And as a child, you immediately understand, okay, this is an important character. Like, suddenly it's not a party time anymore. They're in the presence of of their father, their master.
And he comes out of the gate dropping some shit like, I'm not going to be here forever. And you're like, God damn, dude. It's like,
yeah.
Just one battle.
Heavy shit, dude. Yes.
Why are you always so fucking dramatic?
Why do you always bring in that Britney Spears shit? Like,
yeah, he's straight up talking. He instantly tells them, congratulations on a mission, like, well done, but you guys don't forget, you guys got to remain hidden.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's great too is like when all this is going on too, like to break it up, the comic relief, because it gets pretty deep, is Mikey on the phone like,
I want a large thick crust with double cheese, ham, pepperoni.
No anchovies. That'd mean no anchovies.
If you put anchovies on this thing. But it's so good, like to Chris's point, like all of their personalities coming through, and that comedy from the cartoon, like Michelangelo, he's on the phone ordering pizza, and it gets hit by the book, and all the other turtles like look at him, and he's like,
and the clock's ticking, dude.
Yeah,
and another guy's like, giggling or whatever.
Yeah,
dude, it's so funny, dude.
It's a thing of beauty, man. It's actually a thing of beauty, and Splinter brings a bit of seriousness, like instantly to this scene. And he basically is like, congratulations, you guys did a good job, saving that girl. But listen, like, you need to remain hidden. Your existence needs to remain a secret, because you're mutant anthropomorphic turtles that can fucking talk. So stay out of the light.
Why didn't he say congratulations?
He's still working on his English.
So on this too, like, so Mikey's going to get the pizza, which I don't think was there a pizza sponsor for this one? I know Domino's was number 2.
So this was something that I want to talk about, because I don't understand how this happened. Pizza Hut apparently did about $20 million in marketing for this movie. And I'm sure you guys remember the
That's
band.
what I mean, like,
I remember.
How did they do the marketing for the movie, but they didn't do the product placement in the movie?
Well, they probably would have had to get. I mean, remember, So Ninja Turtles released in 87. It probably started gaining steam in 88, 89 when this movie's starting to be made. So by the time 90 hits, Ninja Turtles cartoon it is at like apex. Toys flying off the shelves, super popularity, but it's already been shot. So I don't wonder if the pizza places weren't on board on the front end, but when the movie's out, now they're like, oh shit, I want to attach. Oh shit, these guys eat pizza all the time. Let's attach our name to it. And I bet that's what happened because sure as shit, number 2, boom, there's Domino's front and center. So,
but it was after this one, right? That they had the Ninja Turtles band.
Yeah.
They went on tour.
I saw. Yeah, I seen them.
I seen them. The Live Entertainment Incorporated, according to Wikipedia, announced the film would go to VHS via the Family Home Entertainment label on October the 4th, 1990. The suggested price was $24.99 per cassette. Pizza Hut engaged in a $20 million marketing campaign tied to the film, despite the fact that Domino's Pizza was used as the product placement in the film itself. And I would probably attribute that, it doesn't say anything more about it, to being an independent film. I don't think that licenses were secured correctly.
Well, I mean, Pizza Hut, hey, we're making this comic book movie. They're going to be like, go fuck yourself. Like, in probably 89.
Well, maybe they offered the product placement to Pizza Hut, and they were like, no, we don't want our delivery guy to look like a piece of shit that can't get there on time.
Ah, come on. I couldn't find a place.
let Domino's have it.
Yeah,
dude, true.
So is it actually Domino's in this one?
Yeah,
it is Domino's Pizza.
Domino's.
It is, despite Domino's featuring in the film. Like, Pizza Hut invested $20 million in advertisement revenue for the film, and for it's super weird.
I'm gonna tell you right now, in the 90s, I don't think around here there were that many Domino's.
No.
But in the late 90s, when I moved out of the area for college, there was a Domino's close. That shit was so good.
Yeah, dude.
They had back then they had this like deep dish, and it had this like crumbles on the bottom side of the crust. Oh goddamn! I need a time machine right now.
Yeah, I said, goddamn.
I don't remember the Domino's Pizza until the Noid advertisement started. So, like, I don't remember it really before then being a legitimate pizza chain, but I'm sure that it was.
I think that the pizza that they actually get out and throw up in the air and slices it, dices. I don't think that's actually I don't think it's a Domino's pizza.
Yeah,
I think that looks more like a New York style.
Yeah.
Like a thin crust.
Yeah, 100%. The cheese pool
that I don't like, by the way.
Everything is off. Yeah, true.
So here's where Roth he's done with it. Mikey's waiting on the pizza.
Raphael's still mad about it. Yeah, losing his side.
So he puts on a trench coat and a top hat, and apparently he's fucking fine to walk around the people.
It says disguise, bro.
Because that's what it was remember in the cartoon, they had those little goofy fucking masks they put on. Everybody's like, yeah, they're fine. Like,
no one ever suspected anything because it's New York. And this is the best part. As a kid, I remember being like, it's New York. You wouldn't notice just because it's New York. Like,
and you know what? We were right.
Right. There's literally mutants there, and people don't notice.
He looked like a punker.
Yeah, punker.
He did. So, Shadwick, you mind telling me which movie that Raphael decides to go out and see when he's blowing off steam? As everyone else is celebrating down in the turtle lair, Raphael leaves out. He's seeing a movie. What movie does he go to watch again?
So I remember him making fun of critters. Is that what he saw?
Yeah.
Ugh. Where did they come up with this stuff?
It's poking fun of itself, you know?
Right. Dude. But also, we've talked about critters a few times.
We're talking about ghoulies.
It's a Beacon. Let's rewind. Yeah, Critters and Ghoulies were in the same vein of movies that were in the 80s that people
were
generally
video rentals that no one ever rented.
So it's kind of a funny little poke or a jab at another animatronic style movie like this one, and that he hates. So it's really funny. So leaving the movie after he's blown off his steam, as Raphael is apt to do, which he does multiple times in this movie, and eventually gets him in trouble. his little solo walks. He runs across 2 criminal purse snatchers, and of course scares them away with his sigh after tripping them and spoiling.
Some might call them purse grabbing pukes.
Yeah, some of them might. So he scares them away with his sigh, or is it the fact that he's an animatronic turtle that can fucking talk? Yeah. So on his way back to, excuse me, as soon as the criminals run away out of the trees, he was in the trees.
He was in the tree, Casey Jones.
The vigilante wearing a hockey mask
in the trees.
That's what he was, dude.
Drops down and just starts beating the shit out of the 2 underage criminals who were trying to escape.
Which is great, because this, I was also thinking about this. This made me yearn for vigilante justice for my entire life. I was like, whenever I had my car broken into or anything like that, I'm like, if I was there and I could just beat these people within an inch of their life,
it'd be worth them doing it for me to catch them doing it.
Yeah. yes. But I just remember thinking, like, yeah. And also, remember in the cartoon, Casey Jones was just a shitty Humphrey Bogart ripoff. He'd be like, yeah, see? And he had like that stupid hockey mask on, but thank God they didn't do that. He was just a parody and a shitty voiceover impression is what he was in the cartoon. But this Casey Jones fucks.
And what's that actor's name?
His name was Elias Koteas, Canadian actor. Yeah, he did play. He was the one that played Casey Jones. But what was it you wanted to say about him?
I just always got him like mixed up with. I think his name
Maloney.
was Christopher Maloney.
Okay.
Which is who I got it mixed up with. So I just never really know. Never really did my homework on that one, I guess. But
and he's a long-haired. He looks so good in this film, man.
Dude, he does. It's great. They go and they hint into the used to be a pro hockey player before he got hurt, like later on in the film. So the background's there to match everything, and he is about to do some vigilante justice on these kids. And I'm here for it.
He was the film Punisher before we ever got the Punisher. And Chris is right. Vigilante justice that this guy's about to dispense. Like, because it's not enough that they were scared. That they were scared away by Raphael.
They're just going to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And he understands that. And he says that in this speech. He's just like, so Raphael shows up to stop him from beating these kids to absolute death with his hockey stick and committing a Class A felony.
Not like that, they don't. Not from you.
Yeah, you guys, that they don't deserve to be basically beaten with an inch of life and taught a lesson, because Chris is right. Like, the criminals needed to be taught a lesson, not just stopped, because they would just reoffend if they weren't taught a lesson. And that resonates even with kids, little bastards that are your enemies as kids. Don't quit. So Raphael decides to fight Casey Jones and stop him from murdering these children, and they have a battle, and it's one of the greatest scenes.
Such great banter back and forth, going through the sports, going through like so quotable through this entire fucking thing. And then
cricket? Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. I'll teach you.
Which I don't remember what the line is that he said. I think he says 6 points after he knocks him into the trash can, which I don't know anything about. Actually, when I was in Jamaica at the bar, I was talking that cricket's big over there, I guess, and I had them explain the rules of cricket to me. And in my drunken haze, I was finally like, oh, yeah. And then, like, when I woke up the next day, I was like, still don't know any of that. So it's all right.
It's gone. It's completely gone. But
well, did they teach you what a crumpet is?
No.
Well, see, then you would have known.
See, that was the problem.
So Casey Jones smashes Raphael at the very end, catches him off guard, and knocks him into a trash can and escapes. He gets the better of Raphael, who's just having a shit time. He loses his sigh. He watches a shitty movie, Critters, and then he gets his ass kicked by some dude, some ex-hockey player in a hockey mask.
Oh, God.
He was hanging out in a tree.
It's a trifecta. It's like me getting behind someone driving a Rogue with a Walker County handicap tag. Might as well just pull over and shoot myself.
Chadwick's just like, at the very end, Chadwick's like, damn!
Yes,
It's me on the way to work every fucking morning.
which is one of the funniest scenes in the movie because as Raphael is trying to chase Casey Jones down, who is clearly long gone. It cuts to a backdrop of the city, and he's just like
he's yelling so loud,
Yeah.
like it just echoes through the city.
Yeah, it's so
fucking good.
It's so freaking funny.
And they're like you were saying, their banter was so good though.
Oh, man.
Like he swings that little bat and he catches it, and he was like,
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
and then he hits him with the other hand. It's like 2 for 1 sale.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so
It's
freaking
so great,
good,
dude.
And then we get probably one of the most poignant scenes on the planet, in my opinion, and this is what makes this movie actually insanely good, in my opinion. The defeated Raphael returns back to the sewers, and of course, Splinter is waiting up for him.
Yep.
And
he gives another speech.
One of the best father-son talks of all time in any kid's movie. Debate me. I'll fight you for it. I will fight you for it.
And I challenge that this actually sets up a theme for the movie.
It does.
Because every time that Raph, or even later you see Leonardo, every time they lose control of their emotions and act on anger, shit goes south.
Exactly.
Yep.
Splinter
what he taught him.
That's
discipline.
what he tells him. Yeah, he tells him, listen,
you lack a discipline.
You're unique amongst your brothers because you have this fire and this passion, but you let it get out of control. You're too much of a loner. You want to try to internalize all of your rage and anger. And I'm telling you, this hits so hard, it should hit hard for men today, to this very day, young men, that your rage and anger, you can't internalize that. You can't go solo. You need to rely on the people who care about you and love you, and you're not by yourself. It's like you shouldn't ever try to face this world alone.
Do not forget them, and do not forget me.
You
gotta let the pressure off though. You can't you can't get that bottled up. Sean Connery said something about that one time. I think.
Was that about fucking the prom queen?
No, sometimes you have to smack a woman.
That interviewer.
Oh, Mr. Connery.
In my opinion, this is where the genius of this movie comes in. This is why all the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie franchises will absolutely be forgotten because
the dialogue's great.
Yeah, and even the camera work right here.
Yeah,
it's low, like candlelight basically.
Yeah,
and the camera there's this one shot of Raphael where the camera's kind of like circling him, and I don't know. I know it's animatronics, but the way it was shot and the expression on his face, it looks like he's actually really like taking in what Splinter's saying.
Yeah, man.
He cries in the scene. Yeah, Raphael cries. Like he understands that Splinter's right, and he's too full of rage and anger and hatred, and he's got to let some of that go and start relying on his friends and his team to be part, his group, his people.
Right. And this is some foreshadowing, followed up by more foreshadowing, and maybe like we talked about earlier, the seeds planted for me wanting vigilante justice in my life. This was probably the seeds planted of me hating all things media. When April's boss comes over to her apartment
the next morning.
Yeah, and he is just a piece of fucking shit and just bitching about her drawing attention to herself and blah blah blah.
See, I didn't take that he was being a piece of shit. I thought he was legitimately like trying to protect her because the chief of police had it out for her.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but then it's like she's telling her to knock it off on her leads and the shit that she's like looking up because he's in it with the chief of police. Because they're all dirty fucks.
I will split the difference between your two opinions, and I will say that I believe Shadwick, he does care about April O'Neil, because he talks about getting her a detail to uncover her after her mugging. Where the Ninja Turtle saved her. He does care about her, but he's also a little bitch ass coward like his son, which explains why his son is such a bitch. Yeah, Dan.
I wonder where he got those damn things.
Dude, he's telling April to like ease off because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to, and April is actively trying to exude this masculine energy and make a difference and challenge the system and push things so things get better. And her boss is just like this weak little limp-wristed pansy who just won't back her up. He won't be like,
where's his wife? Did she leave him like
she left him
at the altar?
Pussy, dude. She cheated on him with Tyrone, bro.
Oh yeah, dude.
Tyrone with a size 15 ding dong.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like her boss sucks, man. Like he's just weak, and he's like, "Be careful, April."
Just what is going on out there, April?
I guess there was some behind the scenes shit because I really don't know any other reason why they wouldn't bring her back for number 2. Like she did such a good job in this one. It's just.
I think they maybe wanted to go in a different direction, but I can tell you it was a mistake because she was not only she's an excellent actress, but she didn't have any ability to fight, like, so she did need protection in that realm. But she was also so much her power made her a threat because she was very intelligent. Her ability to create a rapport and be captivating, challenge the system, made her a danger, which shows that power isn't only in physicality, and that's something that we miss nowadays. Yeah, dude. Like nowadays, like they'd had April like roundhousing like Foot Clan and shit like that, which is stupid as hell. Like she doesn't have any fighting or any training, so she's vulnerable as a character, but she's also extremely powerful. And they understood that there needs to be give and take in any kind of movie. Yeah. The Turtles didn't have that power; they had to stay in the shadows. They didn't have the ability to mold public perception. But that was her job, right? She had her place in her job, and she didn't have to do everything, right? So the Turtles could protect her, which they do throughout this movie. But she also had the ability to draw the ire of Shredder, which we find literally in the next scene. Shredder's watching TV, and he like
fucking dagger,
throws a dagger at the TV like at her face, and she's giving the report. He's like, silence her, which I always took is to murder her.
Yeah, and also like how did we get a TV setup like that? Didn't he have like a bazillion TVs there?
He did, dude. It was so good.
It was like my wet dream. Like this Foot Clan thing is looking better and better with each shot of this whole fucking movie.
Multiple 50-inch TVs back then, which is just insane.
I'm like, give me more of that, please.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So he basically gets it, puts out a hit on April O'Neil, tells the Foot Clan to silence her, and they find her on the subway, and she's ambushed. And of course, one of the Foot Clan members with the most racist accent I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so funny.
We've been waiting for you, Miss O'Neill.
Slaps her the taste out of her mouth.
Not to mention, she's like, "What am I late on my Sony payments?"
Which, Chris, do you want to tell Leaf what my?
Oh yeah, Shadwick. Shadwick when he messaged Judith that plays April in this. Yes, he's like said something along the lines of like, "You it turns out you are late on your Sony payments."
Would you like to discuss this? Is there any possibility that you could schedule about an hour with us so we can get this sorted out?
Wonder why these people never message us back.
Dude, what the hell, dude? Why is she so stuck up, man? Like,
dude, by the way, when she gets knocked out, man, that looks brutal as fuck. Her head, she is in CTE protocol.
Fuck, man. I should have told her she didn't have to wear a bra.
That would have been the key. You threw the whole thing, bro.
Can you wear the red shirt from the farm?
Oh, God, please.
100%. When she hits the ground, and Chris is right, it looks brutal. The Foot Clan's beating her up. Woo. It's bad. It looks really, really bad.
Oh, yeah, she does that Ivan Drago twist when she falls.
Yeah, man. But seeing her on the TV, she's being tracked by Raphael, who selfishly doesn't want to rescue her or protect her. He just wants his side back, and he knows she hides it.
Yeah.
And so he shows up and steps in to save her. He beats up most of the ninjas, knocks them unconscious, and then steals an unconscious April O'Neil back to the sewers. However, he is being followed by one of the Foot Clan, unfortunately.
And this is one of my favorite lines too, where they really treat her like she's a pet. Like it really goes to them being teenagers. So he's like, Mikey's like, can we keep her? Like, and then Leo's like, what were you thinking? He's like,
because I wanted to redecorate. You know, a couple throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think?
Just smart ass.
Funny. Yeah, smart ass shit.
Man. It's so beautiful, man.
And he's like, can we keep her? And Splinter's like, water, da-da-da. And Mikey's like, great. Like, he's so fucking stoked.
Yeah, he's excited.
So they have a pet
Pre-negotiated, agreed upon. I'm fucking psyched.
Fucking psyched.
Yeah. They have a pet woman. She comes to in the lair and is just absolutely
Pet woman.
Yeah.
And then she's absolutely shocked to see 4 giant anthropomorphic turtles that can fucking talk.
Yep.
And also a giant talking rat. She doesn't faint, strangely, because I was waiting for it when I was a kid. I was like, she's going to faint. That's what women do in films when they're too like over-exasperated. She doesn't faint.
But you get your whole, now you get your backstory. Now you get the mutagen.
Splinter.
Which,
and you get the full on claymation history.
Right? Yeah, dude, which is awesome. Radical. I still remember that in my head. Yeah. But like, you actually could bought those. Like, they had those action figures, the little babies that you could buy a while back.
Turtles?
Like the Nico ones, I think.
Called. Yeah.
I actually have a mutagen thing over there in the kegerator that I'm not going to get, but it's there.
NECA, N-E-C-A.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were probably $400 a piece.
Yeah, pretty much. But this is great because now you get the history.
Splinter podcast.
Now you understand what's going on. Now you understand about the mutagen, which this is the only talk of the mutagen in this entire movie.
This is it. You find out the origin of the
centerpiece in number 2.
What was it? It was PG-13, right?
PG, I think.
No, so you could only talk to a woman about ooze once with PG.
These were the
higher
rules.
rating. Yeah. So Splinter tells April O'Neil about their origin, that the turtles and himself mutated from this ooze they found randomly in the sewer, and that also Splinter had once been a pet of the great ninja Hamato Yoshi.
Rest
and learned RIP, learned Nujitsu, and then of course taught his new mutated turtle pets, aka children, the ways of the ninja. And of course, after the explanation, April immediately accepts this. Of course, it makes logical sense. And the turtles escort her back to the apartment, and she invites them inside for pizza. And of course, 10-year-old Chadwick pops his first boner at April O'Neil and those Daisy Dukes, baby, as they're partying in the apartment.
You dirty rat.
So before they even get there, when she's like, I'd invite you guys in, but all I have is frozen pizza.
Let's go for it.
Yes,
that little shot. Yeah.
That was Chadwick's boner.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, that was Chadwick. That was when he saw the Daisy Dukes.
And that scene is so, man, she never looks better than in any of the scenes in that one, in my opinion.
Dude. And you know what the moral of the story is? This taught us a lot. You know, Mikey's doing his little stand-up routine. Ross rolling his eyes like not Cagney.
Can I just point out this one line always bugged me because it wasn't in Rocky. When he goes, maybe I'll fight Apollo and maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not in there.
If you're going to quote the movie, quote the movie.
Dude, he's 15 years old, all right? You know?
It stinks.
He's a teenager, man.
But what you learn from this, and this is a lesson that none of us probably picked up the first time we watched this, is nothing good happens when you're perving on dish. Because there they are, perving on some dish, and then Splinter just gets fucking jacked back in the lair.
Yeah, because Raphael didn't realize when he was dragging her back to the sewers by her hair that there was a foot soldier hiding in the shadows behind it.
True. All he wanted was his sigh, and he got it, and he took a girl as a trophy, and it only brought trouble. So when
Captain Caveman,
so when they returned back to
and son.
So when they returned back to the lair, the Ninja Turtles lair, they're distraught to find the place in ruins, and Splinter's gone. Like dude,
this is the saddest shit in the fucking world, man. When they come back to her door,
What's wrong?
Splinter.
Like animatronics or not, I don't give a fuck. There's that's real.
It's more impactful
so
for
sad.
me when the camera does that spin around Raph when he's screaming.
Oh, dude, yeah.
The painful scream.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
they return. They do
return
return
to
back.
April, and that there's that sad. That's one that got me. Is they're just defeated. Like
They just
Splinter.
they don't know what to
Splinter.
do without their master because they are. You got to remember they're teenagers. They're kids still, basically, and their master's been taken. The places their home is in ruin. So they go back to April O'Neil's apartment and they sleep there for the night. The next morning, April's effeminate, pathetic boss shows up with his dumb kid again and again.
Stupid ass Sid Vicious shirt.
Yeah, stupid fucking redheaded kid and his inverted penis.
Dumbass Sid Vicious shirts. He apparently has 17 of them.
Yeah,
Like-
and he tells April yet again to cool it because the Foot Clan story is getting too hot. It's making the police look bad. April, please.
Is this where he tells her like he's going to reassign that story to somebody else or whatever? And she's like, "No, it's my story."
Yeah, he tells her, "Listen, I'm gonna pull you off of this. You're too gung ho."
And then when she's like, "No, you're not going to pull me off this," he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
He literally he does. He's like, "All right."
He's basically Vern from the cartoon. That's what he is.
He legitimately is.
So while all this shit's happening, little fucking sneaky ass Danny's he's trying to find shit to steal and
fucking snooping.
And like, what is he sees a glimpse in a mirror or something of one of the turtles.
Yeah, well, I think it was
so he gets suspicious of it. You know.
So the whole time the Ninja Turtles are kind of like doing ninja stuff during the scene to escape notice from April's pathetic boss. But yes, Danny, his son, does get a glimpse of one of the turtles at one point in time. And then very next scene, we get another glimpse of the Foot Clan lair, aka the party pad, in all of its glory. There's a kid with a cigar shooting pool. It just looks like the best freaking time ever, man. Playing arcade games.
You know what it is? I just thought about this. Was it called Pleasure Island in Pinocchio?
I don't remember. I think it was Pleasure Island, if I'm not mistaken.
They would basically like talk the kids, runaways or whatever, to come with them, and then they would like transform them into monsters or
there's some Epstein
donkeys
that's
true.
Right. It was really, really creepy with that. And so this is kind of what it's like. And I mean, that's kind of, I think, the idea is that
also the nighttime is the right time.
That's what this one's all about, man.
Dude, the criminality, it's very, very attractive to young kids. It was even to me in this movie. And I think that the movie makes a really poignant point is that you can have like all these things, but what you have to do is you have to abandon your ties. You have to give up your parents. You have to give up anything good and basically accept
your morals.
Yeah, and your morals, and accept the gang as your family, as your group, and they're literally teaching you about indoctrination, that like how people get viewed, like you're lured in with arcade games. And
as kids, man, as a kid, I was like, just fucking sign me up now. Like you let me know where this is, and I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Same, bro. At this scene, I was ready to join the clan, baby. Foot Clan. Dude. So Shredder shows up in all of his glory, calls a grand.
Hold on, do we need to devote some time to this?
No, it's over, dude. I didn't do it, dude. I learned my lesson. This movie helped. This movie deconstructed all of those thoughts. Shredder shows up in all his glory. He gives an inspiring speech to the kids. Basically tells them, "You're our family now. Like, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna do all this stuff." And
the outside world rejects you.
Yeah, you're losers, but we'll take care of you.
Cult shit, baby.
But you know what it is?
Really is.
It really is genius, and it could really happen because fucking every teenager is insecure. Like, every teenager feels like they don't fit in.
What's great is it is something that's realistic and everything because Hollywood was living it at this time, so they were just writing a documentary.
It's an independent film on Hollywood.
Independent film on Hollywood.
Oh my god, my brain just exploded. You're right, dude. Oh my god,
they suck so much ass. But anyway, so Danny dimes him out, right? So
Danny
he sucks.
Yeah, discovering his little glimpse of the turtles, he realizes through Shredder's speech that he knows where the turtles are. He kind of caught a glimpse of when he knows they're holed up at April's pad. They already, have or have killed Shredder. We're not sure at this point in time. Excuse me, Splinter, not Shredder. They have him, or he's been murdered. He's gone, and they know where and Danny dimes them out, lets them know they're in April's
They call him
apartment.
Dime Out Danny.
They do, and so
nobody calls him that.
So Shredder sends Master Tatsu and the Foot Clan to eliminate the turtles once and for all. And they ambush after an argument between Leo and Raphael. Raphael does the normal shit he does and goes for a walk by himself on the rooftop, and he gets ambushed by the entire
and this is one of the best fucking fight scenes. It goes
good.
From the rooftop. Casey Jones sees it from afar, so he's fucking en route. Then it crashes through. The other turtles are there to they're like, oh shit, Raph's hurt. Then all the foot soldiers keep coming in.
So I hate to keep doing this, but just back up for a second because there's some more this great dialogue in the apartment with the turtles. This is where I think Donatello and Michelangelo, they're watching the cartoon of the tortoise and the hare.
Yes.
And Michelangelo is fucking livid because the turtles is taking his time. He's like, oh, yeah, you letting him blow right by you.
Come on, don't just ninja kick the damn rabbit. Do something.
Yeah.
All this is happening in between shots of Raphael getting beat up. Actually, is what you're talking about, which is great because they're all like, "Well, Raph is fine. He's on the roof. He does he'll go walk. He'll do." And even April's like, "Should we go get him?" And they're like, "No, it's fine."
And they're watching all the time.
Dude, so the rest of the turtles are watching cartoons. They're getting a tour of the apartment where April lives. They're just living their lives. Meanwhile, every scene cuts back, and Raphael's fighting for his life.
Dude. And you know what? There for a minute, he's holding his own.
He does,
and he fucks himself though because he's like,
I mean, come on. How do you guys expect to beat me?
and then like 40 more of them surround him.
Yeah,
he's like, shit.
It's like all the goddamn anthills at my house. I think they're mobilizing around us. Last time I mowed the grass, about flipped the mower over.
But also, man, like the music on this too, like during this whole scene, because now you have it feels like a video game. You have the apartment catches on fire. You're busting through the top level down to the next level. Then that's going to collapse. You got a secret exit in there where they're getting out. Like it just feels like a video game. Not the Ninja Turtles 1 video game that can eternally burn in hell, but like an actual good video game.
The arcade video game would be
an impossible water level on the first level.
Fuckers.
You fuckers!
Even in the fight, dude, there's so many like good little one-liners.
Man.
Like so, the Foot comes in. They have these giant axes, right? And they keep on like trying to hit the turtles, and they keep like chopping the floor.
Yes,
dude.
So and then like more of them keep coming in, and more of them keep coming in, and Donatello's like,
guys, I'm not so sure if this is structurally speaking such a good time for your buddies to drop in.
Is great,
and then also like
I thought insurance salesmen were pushy.
When it starts to like collapse and they're it's on fire and they're getting the fuck out of there, you also have Casey Jones hears the answer machine message that the sleazy, slimy piece of shit fucking
Casey Jones. Oh, you mean Wayne Gretzky on steroids?
Yeah, on steroids.
Yeah. He shows up in the middle of the fight somehow. I don't know how he gets there. Do you guys know? Like,
he saw Roth getting his ass beat, so he went in route.
Oh,
he saw it from across the way, and then
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, so he comes to help.
Like they fought, but they're on the same side.
Dude, that's the thing. That's the thing. Though.
It's Daredevil and Punisher.
It reminds me of. It just reminds me of like we talked about like when you're a kid. Sometimes you get in a fight with somebody, and then you're just like, "Yeah, we're good."
That's masculine energy, man. That's like it's something that you understand if you're a man. Like combat and battle brings people together, especially if it's non-lethal. Obviously, like after it's over, you form a kinship and a bond through combat. Like it's what happens, and,
And so, like I said, this is the scene 2 with the answer machine. So April gets fired, and only Casey hears it.
Yes.
And so, like, it's kind of just like a tidbit. And also, it's a great shot, too, of the answer machine dangling with the wire on fire.
Yeah.
Like, so it gets that out before, like, it's just a cool fucking shot. I don't know who thought of that.
It's not only good, but there's a pun in there, too, because he says something to the effect of just like, I hope this doesn't come as a blow. As the answer machine snaps and smashes a Foot Clan member on the head and knocks him out. And so it's like a comedic aspect. You're right. It's so good. And the voiceover is good because sort of the action fades out and the voice, you can hear the answer machine message. And it's really important for the character development between Casey Jones and April, which happens pretty much the very next scene. But as the turtles are escaping, they finally decide that they're going to go to April's old farmhouse owned by her family, and that's when you end up with this sort of the relationship between Casey Jones and April O'Neil sort of formulating. I mean, they're the only two humans, so it had to happen that way. I don't want to hear anything.
Like when it cuts back and Shredder's fucking out of his gourd, beating the shit out of Splinter or whatever. And this is a tidbit I have. So this is when Tatsu, also humiliated, he starts to just beat the fuck out of the Foot Clan soldiers.
Yeah.
He kills this guy in the original. So when they pull his mask up, he's putting his finger on to check his pulse. And they added the dub over of, are you okay? Yeah, or whatever. They added that dub over so it wouldn't be too dark.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So if you go back and watch that audio when it pans back to him and he realizes what he's done, like that's dubbed over to, oh no, he's not. He was just knocked out. But the original one was he just goes and kills one of his own guys because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it's a really sad because you can see if you watch it and ignore the voiceover, you can see the actors, they're really distraught and scared, and it's kind of where you see the breakdown of the quote lie of the family structure and your family and you're part of us, and you realize that these kids, like you said earlier, Shadowy, it's a cult. They're being manipulated. They're not really family. The first time they mess up, instead of supporting each other like we're about to see the turtles do, who are a real family, you see the other side of the coin. They just beat the shit out of each other and kill.
All those him loud.
All the he's like, put up your dukes.
Yeah, he got no fucking dukes.
But you start seeing though, like you said, everybody's starting to recognize like maybe this is not really on the up and up. Like got a little like light bulbs going off.
Their faces, they're
the
like,
right time is not the right time.
They're all like Joseph in the Bible. Like, wait, you're saying God got you pregnant? I mean. Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Before the scene ends with the Foot Clan, Danny decides to quit being an absolute fucking turd, and he goes to talk to Splinter. He's curious. He ratted him out. He's wondering what this thing is. He has a hard time with Splinter, and Splinter, of course, makes him lets him know that hey,
your dad cares about you, which he doesn't. But Splinter's being nice.
What does he say? Like, how can a face so young carry so many burdens?
Yeah, dude. Everything Splinter says is just
everything
ancient.
he says is deep shit.
This is what pisses me off when people are like, dude, man, Master Oogway in Kung Fu Panda is like so wild. Like, shut the fuck up. Like Master Splinter Oogway was literally would shit on Master Oogway, the turtle, like 1,000 times. This dude Master Splinter hit.
It'd be like little pellets.
Yeah.
And he basically tells him, you're making a mistake. These people don't care about you. They're not your family. Your father may not be the person you want him to be, but he does love you and care about you again. And you know how, like, you know how Splinter knows that is because he has his own kids. He has his own children. He may not be the person that they need him to be all the time, but he loves them. And that is the overarching theme. And again, that's why this film will live in infamy and the freaking CGI turtles will die in obscurity forever because this film has something more important to say.
Yeah, and Danny's like, what the fuck you got to do? It's so important you can't join the religious cult with me.
I mean, speaking of the CGI turtles, that'll lead me to shit stuck in my head this week.
Yes, sir! And try to lose some weight for God's sake. Yes, sir!
All right.
The CGI turtles suck, dude.
They should lose some weight for God's sake.
Lose some weight.
We have a nice little montage here too back at the farm. The farm's kind of dope, man. I'm not gonna lie. Mainly because April's there.
Yes.
But she's doing the drawings and stuff. Shadwick, have you ever tried to recreate any of these?
No, I did do a lot of turtles drawing back in the day, but I did not try to recreate one of those. Basically because we didn't have the internet back then, and I couldn't find a clip of it.
Right, to do it. I just know it's cool. Just the little freehand drawing she's doing.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say she didn't really draw that.
Probably not, but it's the one of Leo. He's sitting by the tub waiting on Raph to wake up.
Such a good drawing.
And you have the Casey Jones and Donatello relationship forming.
Yes, it does. It is a little bit funny that she's kind of like journaling, like a 14-year-old girl. It's strange being back on the farm.
Yeah, I know, and
it's strange, but it makes sense in the film because this is the lowest point in the film. This is where the turtles have experienced an exceptional defeat. Their master's kidnapped and or killed. They don't know if he's even alive or not. One of their own is beaten nearly to death. They don't know if he's going to survive. And so this is sort of like the film's way of allowing, the viewer through April's voiceover and drawings.
And the tension between April and Casey is great. Because I vaguely remember watching this show with my parents. Like they start arguing, they go and slam the doors or whatever. He's like, "It's kind of like moonlighting, like that." Like that was just like that show. Like I was just like, "Damn, I remember watching that."
What? So they're from opposite worlds, right? She's like the professional, empowered woman, and he's the guy that still refers to women as like broads and dames, and whatever.
And he's a hockey hooligan for all intents.
Dude, he's broads and dames and dish.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back.
But luckily, he's got some balls.
Princess.
Luckily, he's got some balls and some cock, and he's got some long hair, and she's into it.
And she's got to stroke his song.
At least that it's not. Shaddy, why are you in the shower so long now? Is it that lady's bra in this scene?
or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And so the tension increases when he tells her that she has been fired because she doesn't know. She's like, I got to find a phone to call my boss. And he's like, I'm going to save you a trip there.
Yeah, he's like,
well, hey, you just saved yourself an 8-mile round tripper. You were fired.
Wait, did you take lessons in sensitivity?
Yeah. She hates him immediately, even though I don't.
She does a great job too. That I noticed, they're almost like kids bickering back and forth when they're flirting. Like she really kind of morphs into child state when she's going back and forth with him. I picked that up this last time when I was watching it. Just facials and everything just kind of reminded me.
And so does he. He matches her energy too, which is just great. As a
kid, like he's pulling her hair in math class.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what it comes across as.
Being this is a film generally made for kids, it hits so good, and that they're flirting. You even understand that as a young kid, that they like each other, and it's very, very well done and very, very subtle through their arguments.
Is it after he delivers that news where he's on the swing and
Not
it
long
breaks and he slides down while eating the apple or whatever? It's just so fucking funny and weird. Just a great scene.
She wants him to fix something on the farm, and the turtles are sort of healing from their defeat. And she wants him to fix something, and he calls her toots or whatever. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. She hates him, and he's just like, well, don't ask me for nothing. And he sits down after calling himself Mr. Fix It, and the thing breaks. He's just confused. He's just like a clumsy oaf. It's just so she kind of wins like in that little trade. It's just awesome.
And this one's great too. Is like when you have Raphael finally wakes up, because that's the cadence with Leonardo. He wants some food. Get him some food. Like that whole like.
You also have the bond with Donatello and Casey, where they're working on the truck and they're calling each other names in alphabetical order.
Yeah. What does he say? One is like calls him Dome or
Chrome Dome.
And he's like he does a little Three Stooges action.
L flips.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. It's
what do you use for F?
Yeah.
They must have edited that one out. I don't know what that one was.
I'll be damned.
And then you get the little scene where you realize that something's going on with Casey and April, where like she's rubbing her shoulder because whatever.
Dude, yeah.
And he's trying to help her out, like he's going to massage her shoulder. She like pulls away from him, and he just fucking manhandles her.
He
like
grabs her and
grabs her by the shoulders, sits her down. And then his hands go a little bit low into the blouse.
He's going deep on that. Those fingers going a little deep on that sensual massage.
I believe modern audiences would say that he didn't have consent for that, yet he seemed to be completely into it by my calculation.
We were totally into it. And then you had Michelangelo walk in, and he was just like grabs his shoulder or whatever that he like grabs these like turtle wax.
She tries to give him whatever that ointment was that she had, and he's like,
nope. So it is fucking turtle wax. And I always like me as a logical kid, I was just like, but that's for cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and
I was like, Chris, you're so fucking stupid.
You don't deserve to be happy.
You're so stupid, Billy.
Yeah, you're so stupid. Why are you so dumb, Billy?
So Raphael does recover from his trauma, his coma. He comes out of the beating, and the turtles they reunite and begin to train and recenter themselves after their defeat. They
great
meditate.
montage, like kind of like we led into, but man,
so good.
We get into it. This speech. This speech where Splinter appears in front of him, which was another toy line that they had that you could buy.
They're training their ninjutsu, their craft, their skills as they were taught by their master, and they actually, for the first time in the film, sort of transcend the teenage part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They actually start to meditate and train their minds, and they all four have a vision of Splinter. He comes up out of the campfire where they're surrounded.
I am proud of you, my sons.
And he basically tells them his final message, right? He's like,
right, dude.
He doesn't say, with so many words, but he does say, "This is my final message." He's gonna die, and he's like, "You've reached the pinnacle of ninjutsu. It's not about your martial arts. It's not about fighting and beating up. It's mastery over yourself, over your emotions. It's having self-control. It's all of these things that a child or a young man needs to hear." And this is again why this movie hits so hard.
Love.
It's about love.
It's not about fucking and balls and pussy. It's about love.
He's like, it's not about the pussy juice cocktail, the shit stained balls,
the rusty champagne, dirty Sanchez.
It's about love.
It's all about the butthole pleasures.
Yeah, it's not about butthole pleasures. That's what Splinter said. He let him know. He ends the message that it's not about butthole pleasures, and then now it's time to move on. But yeah, man.
Well, he had to tell him that because he didn't know if he was going to die or not. So they need to know it's not about the butthole pleasures.
It's not about it.
It's not about it, dude. He tells them flat out, "You're gonna have
balls. to." What the fuck is wrong with them?
It's not our fault. We didn't do it. We're just quoting it.
Just quoting it. Jesus.
I know. Don't get mad at us. If anybody gets mad at us, we don't have anything original. We just literally quote everything else.
That's what we do. That's why you tune in every week.
Well, ninjas being the other N word. That's original.
That was good.
Yes.
That was good. We have one or two per podcast. So this speech was insanely good. Again, it goes back to my point, my overarching point. This is why the other turtle movies out of this franchise don't hit, because this one had something more to say. This has something to say deeper that hits so much harder. When you watch this, it's a father talking to his children saying, listen, I'm not going to be around much longer. It's time for you to step up, and you've reached the pinnacle when you've learned self-control. And yes, you could be dangerous. You could defend the ones that you love, but you need to have control over yourselves. And you four have done that. I'm proud of you, and I love you. And man,
dude,
and
tell me that doesn't hit.
And don't be seen, because they'll catch you and then they'll milk you.
They will milk you. Yeah,
dude, exactly. So the turtles, undaunted by Shredder's message, are like, nah, we're not having it. We accept the message. We understand.
Yeah,
it's game on. We're coming for you. We're going to find you, Splinter. We're going to rescue you. And they begin to train for another final showdown with the Foot Clan and attempt to rescue their master.
This is when they're going back to New York, and then me and Shattuck have one of the lines that we've quoted for our entire lives, where Casey doesn't want to go down in the sewer, and
Casey comes with him.
Yeah, he's like, "You're a claustrophobic."
You want piss in the mouth? I never even looked at another guy.
So he thinks they called him a homophobic slur. He called him claustrophobic, which I did not pick up as a kid, of course. But they also run into Danny's punk ass down in the sewer.
He's in their lair for some reason.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't shoot." He's like, "I don't think it's loaded, kid."
Idiot. Stupid
Fucking
idiot.
piece of shit.
I don't know why Danny is even there. Like, there's no reason for him to even necessarily.
Just so he can wear 6 fucking Sex Pistol shirts. That's the only reason he's in this thing at all.
Dude, he's actually such a loser.
Didn't he wear like 3 different Sid Vicious shirts?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Did.
Like, all like Sex Pistol shit.
He
like,
actually did, and I wondered to myself if Danny was not somewhat.
Rest in peace, Sid Vicious.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Correct.
I mean, that's the rest.
The
of
wrong
it.
Sid Vicious.
I know.
It's fine. Yeah, I respect
the one that counts.
Yeah,
I wonder to myself if Nanny was not somewhat the artistic inspiration for Sid from Toy Story, because he does have a Sid Vicious shirt on, but it says Sid, which I'm pretty sure is the kid's name. In the thing,
yeah,
he's redheaded. He's got a black. It's a skull in the show.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I saw some similarities there, and I'm just like, man, I wonder.
Then they made a live action version of him in Meet the Millers.
They did. Yeah, they sure did.
Well, you guys get paid.
Yeah.
So Danny, even if he wasn't the inspiration for Sid in Toy Story, is a piece of trash. He has a bad nightmare, so he runs back to the Foot Clan for some reason. Nobody knows why. And Casey Jones thinks Jesus follows him. Sid has
because he's proven he's not a claustrophobic.
He's not. Yeah, 100%.
Danny runs back and has a final conversation with Splinter, who gives him the final details about who Shredder is. And this is a big moment because Danny realizes, oh no, like I've made a mistake. Like this guy's
dimed him out for the second fucking time.
The second time. But guess what? Danny is an absolute retard. So of course Shredder like immediately recognizes that he's turned like coattail again.
Finds the fucking drawing or whatever of the turtles.
Finds the drawing of the turtles in his pocket that he took from the lair. Realizes that they're not only alive but they're back in full force.
Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but whoever was wearing the Shredder gear when he does that fist right next to Danny's ear before he grabs that picture.
Yeah.
And it makes that like ringing noise like from the blades or whatever.
Like a sharpened blade.
It was pretty fucking close to that dude's face, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, and that was
very
the point.
Close.
And he makes a noise like he's like ugh! When he thrusts with the knife hand that he has, and it's to intimidate and like to make you think he's about to stab him.
Yeah, I'm just talking about realistically, like the
Yes.
two actors. Like I'm pretty sure those were not like rubber blades or anything.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like I've never really known Hollywood to put children in danger at all, so they probably were okay.
Yeah, R.I.P. Corey Haim.
Jesus.
Thanks to Danny, they figure out Shredder. Shredder figures out the turtles are back. They obviously know where their lair is. So he sends the Foot Clan in full force to go and finish them off, and decides to also go himself to make sure the job is done correctly. And while he does that, he orders Splinter killed by the Foot Clan, but thankfully somebody competent other than Danny, aka Casey Jones, is there to rescue Splinter, beat Tatsu to death with a golf club.
Now, a little primatine might just help clear that up there.
Dude,
I'll never call golf a dog game again.
Dude, what a great that's when he's on the ground, Tatsu's kind of getting the best of him, and he fucking gets the golf club and that little smirk like that look across his face.
I love that
so
scene.
Fucking good.
I know, dude. That's almost again like a light bulb going off. Like,
yeah, dude. And then he just full on like John Daly without the urine soaked appeal and just knocks the shit out of it.
He just good boys him across the room.
Dude, he says, "Thanks for waking me up," said a urine soaked John Daly.
Bro, I love that scene, dude. He literally, so he's losing the unarmed battle. There's Casey Jones is no match for Tatsu, the ninjutsu martial artist, but he finds a weapon. Great equalizer.
You put some sports equipment in that man's hand,
dude. It's game on, you know.
Yeah,
dude.
He turns into Martin Riggs, fucking lethal weapon,
dude. But he sends him flying, and it's a comical shot too of him
he's
flying,
like soaring across.
And then he kind of then it kind of the bond's breaking with everybody else too, where he's like, you
got Sam Rockwell's like, we're a family. It's
you call this here and that down there family.
And so you start to see like the foundation breaking now, and their hold. And unlike Hollywood, these kids may be okay.
They may be all right by the end, and most importantly, he does rescue Splinter. He unchains Splinter. Of course, the turtles. And at the same time, the turtles have no idea what's going on because they're fighting to the death in their lair with just hundreds of what appears to be
and like in any classic video game. You got to just keep climbing. That's the only way to win. You got to go all the way up to the top of the roof for that boss level, and that's what's happening.
Dude, they beat all the low level Foot Clan. They're winning
also,
the battle.
Why was there never a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie video game with this plot line with like a Streets of Rage theme?
Why was exactly? Why was there ever a game that looked like the movie Turtles?
Yeah, that would have been fucking awesome. You could have done a Streets of Rage type thing. So like I said, though, the Ninja Turtles,
it's the final.
You got to go to the fucking rooftop because it's game on. That's when that's where shit goes. So guys, if we're ever in a public scenario, say when we're down in Tampa going to see Michael Eusland's play and some shit breaks out, we got to hit the roof. So
for the final battle,
it's like leaving the NFC Championship. You got to get to the top, even though those assholes behind us are talking shit.
Yep, just got to get to the top.
You got to get to the top before you can push them over the edge.
Chadwick was going to commit murder in 2012.
Self-defense.
Call Chadwick Casey Jones. So the final battle happens on the rooftop. Shredder, after all the turtles defeat the lower level minion ninjas, Shredder literally flies down in slow motion.
Dude,
like as godlike.
And it's got that like jet sound behind him too. What is that?
It's so weird, bro. But
was it supposed to be slow motion, or was it supposed to be like he was supernatural and like?
Dude. I think it was supposed to be slow motion, but I mean, I don't know. Like, and maybe it's all his blades cutting through the wind that's like supposed to represent.
You just know that this is the final battle.
Maybe all that hardware is for making coleslaw.
Yeah,
dude. and you haven't seen Shredder 5, so this is it, right? He's got a spear. He's ready to throw down. He's not playing around. You know, he's about to. It's the final confrontation.
He's got his Forever 21 shirt on.
Mm-hmm. And
it's got all the sequins.
I don't. That's one thing I don't get, dude. Like he's supposed to be this like
it's
ultra threatening. Like
dude, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even notice it as a kid, and even to this day, I'm just like I never pick
noticed
it
up. I assumed it's cartoon, and I assumed comic book accurate.
I mean, you might as well put Uncle Phil's voice with him if he's gonna wear that shit.
I wish they had. I'd have been into that, dude. Everybody been like, "Oh shit, it's legit."
Then they look down, like, and his zipper's open, and you hear Shredder. You're welcome.
You think Shredder and Krang ever did the brain with somebody?
I hope so.
It's the brain.
That was 3 kicks for being a fucking gazer.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking meat gazer.
Yeah.
But so this is like where
you have to kick him in the ass.
You have to. So after he gets
so he comes
the turtles.
down.
The turtles.
They're
are no
arrogant,
match.
man.
They go fucking basically one at a time, right?
Yeah,
Like
they're arrogant. Raphael goes
bottle.
first, of course, that's fine. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Raphael goes. They go in one at a time because they're so arrogant. They're like, "Who's this loser?" They're just gonna beat him up. And it's like one, and like Raphael's I got him.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's just perfect. Raphael, the most arrogant of the turtles, is like, "I'm just gonna beat his ass myself." He gets instantly beat up and dispatched. And rolls away defeated, and one by one, Shredder starts.
Yeah, Mikey and Donnie have that exchange where they're like,
1, 2, 3. Damn great! Whoa!
yeah.
It's they fight it. He's too strong. He's too good. He beats all the turtles up, and finally, they try to unite, and they almost. Like start to get the upper hand, but Shredder's too powerful.
He talks some shit and tells him Splinter's the rat.
Yeah,
like, and then the fucking anger gets the best of Leo.
He tells him Splinter's dead, which is obviously
so he fucking snaps. He's like, "You lie!" And then he runs at him, and because it goes back to what Splinter said: "You're out of your own mind. You're acting in anger. Bad shit's gonna happen."
He dies.
Huh?
Like and he has his eyes are like real big with the fucking blade on his throat.
Yeah. Like it's like Splinter has him. Shredder has him like dead to rights. And you're right. He made him. He lost his mind and got really angry. Let his emotions take over. Forgot Splinter's lessons, dude. And he's about to skewer Leonardo with his spear, and miraculously,
the malnourished. No food for days, having to listen to Danny's punk ass. Splinter,
5 years old.
I've been physically abusing the ear.
Yeah.
he
basically felt like he'd been shinshi'd. Danny was making love to his ear crevasse with his fucking whining and incessant bullshit.
He shows up and
you whine like a mule.
Yeah.
You are still alive.
It's an epic moment, and you could see like Shredder's absolute shock that Splinter's not only dead but alive and there, and that gives Leonardo the moment he needs to roll away. And escape. So, I
had a couple of technical issues with this scene. One, it is the cleanest, slickest rooftop I've ever fucking seen in my life.
It is.
It's like marble.
Yeah.
And then what you said about like Leo rolling, unfortunately, you can see his shell is like bending. When he's rolling. Yeah.
There's a couple of moments like that in the martial arts aspects.
I like Shar's like a big hard cock, just rock hard. You know.
Well, you know what you like.
Yeah, because I mean, there's that one scene too with Donatello where you can see like the animatronic dude in his mouth, like when he's laughing at. But you have to really fucking slow that down and freeze it.
You know, when I was researching for this episode, I heard somebody talk about that, but I don't know exactly where that is.
It's in the farm.
I do.
Yeah, it's in the farm.
I was going to mention it, but we were way over time. But the point, I could tell you, it's the moment where Raphael comes back to consciousness, and Leonardo's like, hey, Raphael's awake, and April and Donatello show up.
Mhm.
And they're basically they're trying to make light of the moment. Oh, he's awake. And Donatello makes some pathetic joke, and he's laughing, and his mouth opens.
That's like the belly laugh.
Yeah, he's like, ha. Yeah. And when he does, you can see this mutant.
Oh, the Kodak moment.
Yes, it is really, really creepy. The thing inside the mouth. I don't even understand is the animatronics what that is, because it almost looks like it has eyeballs in the mouth.
Yeah.
I don't understand what was going on there. It's
so,
really creepy. You
well,
can
I think didn't the actors or the stunt people inside the suits they look through the mouth?
Yes. So that's what it is. I think that it's actually the stunt person in the suit.
So you may have actually been seeing the stunt person's real eyes.
Look at it. You look at it and you tell me once you see it what that is. It don't look like no stunt man to me. It looks like animatronic, like a creature inside of a creature. It's really
so
weird.
like they had all those motors and shit in the helmet, and then all the controls and wiring and shit were in the shell.
It's crazy.
Dude, you just have to see it.
Yeah,
it's
I'll send you
really
a picture
weird.
of it. But
yeah,
so
we'll put it in post.
now we have Splinter. Then you find out that they actually have a history.
Yeah, he gives the final lore. Final lore. And and Splinter reveals, of course, that not only he knows Shredder's true identity, aka Oroku Saki, the man who killed his master Hamato Yoshi, and Splinter.
Oroku Saki sounds like a great drink, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll make.
I'm gonna make a cocktail.
We're gonna have let's rewind cocktails.
Let's do it. We're inventing that tonight.
It's gonna be good.
So Shredder discovers, but then there's that big fucking reveal where he takes the mask off
and you see his face for the first time.
He's got rat claws on his face.
Yep, and he recognizes him. He's like, "I'm gonna finish what I started with your ear." With brutal. And he just charges him with a spear, and it's just so insane.
You know what? Shredder lost his fucking control.
Dude.
He got mad and he got fucked up.
He got
throughout the whole movie, man.
He actually fucked around and found out. And Splinter outplays him with some nunchucks that he found on the ladder that were almost thrown over randomly. Like hooks Shredder's spear. Splinter throws him over the edge, and he's hanging by the ledge.
I've got it fucking recited, seared in my brain.
He's got it.
Comes to us all, Oroku Saki.
But something much worse comes for you.
When you die, it will be. Without honor.
And so hanging. This is a really good important scene because it shows the character of Splinter. Splinter's actually holding him and saving him with the nunchucks, right? And Shredder's holding on with a spear. He could have relented and admitted defeat, and like Splinter, you would assume would have allowed him to live, but instead he tries to kill him. He takes the knife and throws it at Splinter, and Splinter catches it. But when he does, he lets go of the nunchuck, and that's why he falls.
Free fall, like fucking three stories.
Free fall, like Jack Nicholson into that vat of chemicals,
dude. And it was a back bump into some fucking dumpster.
That wasn't easy to get over. And don't think I didn't try.
Beautiful scene. It was a beautiful, beautiful scene, and so Shredder lands in a trash can, alive, defeated, alive.
He in a dumpster,
a dump truck. So, garbage truck. So, tell me, did Casey Jones go over there and fucking murder him, or did he close it to contain him?
No, he murdered him. Because
the helmet gets crushed is like the only thing you see.
You have to. I don't like this part because like the shit that I looked up, like you'll look it up and it's like Shredder dies, but is that really what happens? No. There is no Ninja Turtles 2 when you're in the theater watching this. There's nothing. Like you see his helmet get crushed. You assume he is dead. Like just because they brought him back doesn't mean that like he wasn't Casey Jones didn't fully intend to murder him.
Oh, dude, and as far as we knew, he did.
He did.
Like at the end of this movie, he's dead. But also, fuck him.
He's dead. Yeah, like no one. He tried to kill Splinter. He tried to kill the turtles. He tried to commit all kinds of crime. And fuck him.
It's a talent.
Yeah, and on par with the comic book. Shredder's fucking axed in the first one, so like you're actually checking a comic book box too.
Yep.
So
he's donezo, right? And so that's amazing.
So I had a graphic novel when I was a kid, you know, late 80s, early 90s, and it was one of the originals. It was like all black and white, and I don't know which of the Eastman and Laird was doing the artwork, but that shit was fucking good. It was dark, it was gritty, and
I'll send you a couple. There's a doc that I forgot what it's on. You will fucking love it because it goes over Eastman and Laird, like their beginnings, how they came up with the turtles, how everything kind of progressed, them making comic books in a fucking little 2-bedroom apartment or some shit. Like, it's
cool,
it's really cool.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Looking through that original comic, like with their artwork, that changed the way that I draw eyes, like behind masks.
Yeah,
because I do that. Like Todd McFarlane does the same thing. It's kind of a slanted, long triangle. You know? Before that, I always did the wrinkles in the eyebrow. You know. More like the movie or the cartoon, but then looking at the original comics, like, well, this is fucking way better.
Yeah, it looks cool, man.
I remember drawing out of that book. There was one where I think it was like a police car, maybe. All the turtles were like they were on top of the car or around it, and all these cops were like pointing guns at them. And like the lights behind them, so you see like all their faces in shadow.
Yeah,
like I remember drawing that. I wish I fucking still had it.
So he's dead. So Casey Jones murders Shredder, even though he was alive.
He's dead now.
He's dead now. And so the Foot Clan's defeated. Shredder's deleted. The police show up, and
just in the nick of time.
In the nick of time to do absolutely nothing, as normal.
Thanks, Giuliani.
To clean up the mess. Yeah, Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
Hell, we should just defund them, I guess.
Yeah, dude. All the turtles are stopped and frisked and promptly like arrested. Yeah. So
multiple counts of assault.
Their process,
damage to property, trespassing.
April obviously gets rehired with a fat promotion because her boss shows up to the scene with no reporter for some reason. Don't ask me why he didn't.
That's not the only fat thing she got that night.
It isn't, because Casey Jones was getting some ass. I mean, a sweet kiss from April as is worth it.
He did drop a line there too. He's like,
I look like I just called Mike Tyson a sissy.
Yes, excellent line, dude. Excellent line, man.
And then you have the turtles with their
final scene.
Yeah, kind of a shout out to the cartoon at the very end. You know, you have your big, because Cowabunga was the big tagline from the cartoon, so they do the
Cowabunga. Splinter's idea too is like, I've always liked
Cowabunga.
Bunga.
And that's so. Like, I made a funny.
Yeah, and the music's kicking in, and they're laughing and partying, and they're like trading catchphrases, and it's just like it's everything you love from the Ninja Turtles as a kid. Yet again, you're right back there when you watch this
Turtle
film,
Power.
man.
That song is like blasting, dude. I had this soundtrack. The soundtrack was a banger. To
Turtle
Chris
Power.
at age 10, this cassette tape.
I want you to know the whole time we've been doing this episode, I've had that fucking tequila song in my head,
dude. Which I was gonna say, like we didn't really cover that, but like, what was the obsession with that? It was in Pee Wee Herman. It was in this, like in kid movies. I don't know. Like,
I think it was a fun. It's an easy
song
fun
about
song.
drinking.
Also though, in this movie though, remember there's no lyrics and they yell ninjutsu instead of tequila, so they kind of played off of it a little bit, but
which was in the previews too.
I mean, they throw it like it's kind of Nickelodeoned up.
They did, yeah. The whole movie's a little bit
without the foot fetish.
Well, actually, I guess this would be with the foot fetish because the foot soldier. So
no, that's the whole plan.
Hollywood, please stop for God's sakes, dude.
For God's sake, stop it. So this one, obviously an all timer. That's why we've gone as long as we've gone on this episode. I don't know what it'll be whittled down to, but one of my favorite movies of all time. I can watch it anytime. Again, this is one of those, Leaf, we checked the box. We got to see this in theaters together as kids.
We never forget it, dude. Legendary film, man. Legendary film.
I mean, I am a month and a day from being 45 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. But I watched this movie last night, dude. I love it.
Yeah, same here.
It's good. It's an
Still holds up.
movie.
Still great.
I almost like it more as an adult than I did as a kid.
I think I do like it more
I 100% do.
because I pick up more.
Yeah, you can pick up how fucking clever the dialogue is.
Yeah,
the story, like the little nuances. You especially can pick up all the how they shot stuff, the lighting, and all that.
And just like every other topic that we cover, I will listen to one or two podcasts, the week prior, and just trying to get other people's take on it. I fucking hate everybody.
Yeah,
it's people just want to take something fun and tear it apart. I know, like, visual effects is my thing. Like, it kind of takes me out of a movie, but I really never even noticed anything terrible about this movie other than the claymation. When Splinter's like explaining,
but that's a flashback, and there's a weird lighting that needs to be there, and it's fine.
Yeah, and that's even fun because they do the old, like, cigarette burns on the film.
Yeah. It's like old school film, like so tattered and worn.
And if you watch in those scenes, the music is kind of goofy. It's meant to be sort of campy.
It's cartoony.
Exactly.
That's why, anybody that goes back and watches this and like tears it apart, I'm sorry you had a shitty childhood.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry your dad got lost when we went for milk.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with both of y'all's takes. And I just want to say that this movie, with its special effects, with the original, not only the special effects in particular were unique, they had personality. And after this series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and much to a lesser degree, number 3, obviously, which we generally talk about.
Oh, yeah, that should be called number 2.
We will shit on that one. Don't worry.
Nonetheless, that one was bad. But nonetheless, the special effects, the practical effects have they just have a personality that has never been recaptured in the remakes. And beyond that, the script, the way that it was written, this movie has much more to say in a deeper way than all of the other Turtles, and that's why they failed, in my opinion. That's why
Agreed.
I don't know how much money they made, but
I'm sure they broke even or did whatever. But it's just
dude. These you guys.
Here's what sucks. What sucks to me is like the HGH Turtles are somebody's like first, and that sucks. That's not what they are. Like, how do you root for somebody that's like has such a they're at a size disadvantage in this one. They're
like 5 foot tall. A lot of the Foot Clan are taller than the Turtles.
Right. So I mean, like, you have an underdog. So when they fight a trained martial artist like Shredder, it's believable. Like, it makes, I mean, I guess we're talking about Ninja Turtles here. I get that. But I'm just saying, in the realms of like that universe, it makes sense. Like I said, go see this. It's streaming right now on the Showtime on Paramount, I believe. If you're digging what we're doing, man, spread the word, tell your friends, like, subscribe, hit us with that 5-star.
And I'm going to say the only other Ninja Turtles movie that I will promote is the Mayhem movie that came out in last year, I guess.
Yeah, that was really well done.
It was really well done. It's animated, but it's a different type of animation than what you're used to. I think they did it in layers. You can see it like certain scenes, like where there's a light bulb hanging in a hallway. You can see the lights coming off fucking layers.
It's like a live action comic, right? That's how it's shot.
Yeah, exactly. But it's got some really good dialogue too, and really good voice actors.
Jackie Chan. Just split
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
That's
dude.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna say it real quick. There's a scene where Splinter is fighting some people and his back like cracks or whatever, and he starts fighting like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
It's hilarious, dude. He's
Yeah.
like he's running around the room and he's using like
sliding
everything
under tables and chairs and shit.
yeah,
Like Jackie
oh,
Chan
it's
did.
awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Gentlemen,
But-
before we go to the Norman Donald clip of the week, I just want to ask favorite Ninja Turtle, please. I gotta know. We can't.
Michelangelo.
Raphael.
Michelangelo. 100%.
All right, guys, and with that, we'll take us over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Well, next Tuesday is Halloween, or as evil old people know it, Razor Apple Day.